Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I am back with another Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 review. Today we were taking a look at from the Warrior class, Bumblebee and Steeljaw. And if I sound more infused about one over the other, it's because I am. Both figures I purchased off of Amazon.com. The Wave 1 Warrior class figures have been popping in and out of stock at Amazon, so do keep your eyes peeled. Refresh the page, maybe use something like Camel Tracker, because they do have a tendency to sell out very quickly and then they show up on the third-party markets. Not on Amazon, but I'm talking about eBay. And these are not worth scalper prices. We were all very lucky to find these early. Going to start off the review with what not only I think is the weakest figure of the wave, but the worst deluxe class figure I've ever put my hands on, Steeljaw. In what can only be considered a aesthetically pleasing but malleable, displeasing figure, Steeljaw is the first Decepticon released in the Robots in Disguise line. It was part of Legion Wave 1 and the Warrior class, leading many fans to speculate that this may be the leader of the new Decepticons. It is the worst figure I've ever handled, and I am only saying that because I avoided like the plague that disaster that was Prime Deluxe Arachnid. First of all, if it looks like the figure is slouching, it is. The knees, much like the Legion class figure, are molded in a permanent bend. You do have more additional knee bends, but that's really just for transformation. The figure needs to use the tail to support itself. The tail, by the way, is ball jointed in two locations, which I think is very nice, but you really can't get much posing out of it. Not that you would be able to really notice the tail bent around in cockamamie ways from the front. The biggest flaw this figure has is that there are no elbow joints. In the year 2014, on the cusp of 2015, to release a transforming figure without elbow joints is just as crazy as releasing a 3 3/4 inch action figure without elbow joint. Oh, wait, they did that in retaliation. What is worse, and I'm going to bring in the packaging, is they do a little camera chicanery right up in here, and let me adjust the camera for you, where by positioning his claw weapon a certain way in the wrist and rotating the arm, it gives you the illusion of an elbow joint. Had I known this did not have an elbow joint, I would have avoided it like the plague. Speaking of the claw weapon, here it is, and this is what you can do. Rotating it up slightly because it does cover the hand. There is only one claw weapon. It pegs in and out, and that's about it. Another positive I can give about this figure, which I will show off more in vehicle mode, is that it does feature that nice marbleized metallic blue paint that the Legion figure had. Very nice, but it doesn't make up for just the utter crap that this figure is. Where Grimlock was a pleasurable transformation, this is just a sliding and crashing of moving parts. Like all figures in the Robots in Disguise line, this does feature a simplified transformation of only 9 steps. Step 1, you want to open these panels that don't even peg into place properly. Now you can see here on the arms that it does look like there is a possibility for ratcheting elbows. But believe me, I've tried moving that. It does not work. And I don't want to force the plastic and risk bending it. So that was step 1. Step 2, you want to collapse the arms up into itself, like so. Okay. I mean, I do like those sliding gimmicks, but what have you. Next, what you want to do is go ahead and separate the arms from the front of the chest downward, like so, and just keep them out of the way. Next, what you want to go ahead and do is just bring down the wolf's head with that panel that will bring up this back plate, and you just want to go ahead and flatten that out as well, just to get things ready. Next, what you're going to do is going to come in behind and straighten up the tail. There is a section, there is like a tab of sorts that I guess this is supposed to peg into. It really doesn't peg. It just sits there. Just going to bend it in a little and just hook it in like that. Next, we're going to move on down towards the legs, and basically what you want to do is turn them inward on the thigh swivel. Go ahead, fold up what were the feet into the. They will become the front of the SUV of sorts, and then just begin folding them in and pegging together, just like so. I mean, it doesn't even peg in well, in my opinion. It just, you just got to finagle it a little. You'll be hearing that a lot of finagling here. So we're doing all that, and then the final step is to bring up the bring down and around the arms. These will slide them underneath the hands, underneath the car, and this will all peg together. This is actually very close to the transformation of the Legion figure. Even right the way the arms tab in to the side here. And once we do all that, just like so, maybe give everything a nice little squeeze and a once over. Yeah. And of course yep. This front is a little off. I don't know, if really not me, but it's because this really doesn't peg in well. I mean, this is one of the this right here is one of the issues of having ball joints. You just gotta peg it in, and there we go. There we go. There we go. Finally, what you want to do is grab. There's a tab here on the weapon. It pegs into the top here. Unfortunately, it doesn't work as for weapon storage in robot mode. And here is Steeljaw in its vehicle mode. As you can see, like I mentioned before, I do like this marbleized blue plastic. There is some swirling and texture to it, but that's about all I like of this figure. And here's Bumblebee. Bumblebee, of course, looks like it's a hybrid of its Prime and movie appearances with a touch of Prime Viacon thrown in. He does wield the Starsaber sword. I know there has been some discussion as to whether or not this is the Starsaber. Let's not forget, he did have it at the end of the Beast Hunters movie. And one thing I do want to point out that I find quite fascinating, and here, let me clean up the camera. There is a little slot there in the handle, which leads me to believe this might work with your Leader Class Optimus Prime figure. I did try it with Battle Command Optimus Prime, and while it held it due to friction, the tab did not plug in. Moving back to Bumblebee, his primary colors are yellow and black. There is some light piping in the head. And really, that's pretty much all there is to it. The transformation is fun and inventive. I think it's roughly around 8 or 9 steps, which we're going to get to right now. Okay, returning Bumblebee to a neutral position. To start the transformation, you want to go ahead, grab this flap from behind, bring it up and over, and cover the face. The next step is come down here and flip up these feet joints, the feet joints. They are on very tight friction joints pinned into place. Next, we're going to rotate the wrist around, trying to keep everything lined up just like so. Next step is you want to come in. There are tabs here on the bottom of the figure by the foot. You want to peg those together. without killing yourself like I almost did. They are, as you can tell, very tight. Just unfortunately, you just want to sandwich them together, just like so. There are also tabs here on the what will be the windshield and roof pieces. Those should go together quite nicely once the figure is in place. Next, what you want to do is just slide the arms down, and they will. There's little tabs where the hands will lock in right there onto the side, just like so. Make sure that's all slid down. And now to make sure that this back piece is down, there are little nubs, very difficult to see there and there. On the back of the figure, you want on the shoulders, you want those behind this back piece. Next, we're going to come around the back here and flip this section down, rotating the wings. They are on ratchet joints. These will become the doors. I do want to mention on my figure, it does look like some of the ratchets were previously mangled. I'm a little disappointed about that. Just want to go ahead and flip this into place. Now, the doors are supposed to slide in on tabs here. And here, as you can see, they won't sit in properly until you just come along here and bring down this roof piece, and then everything. There are tabs there that the doors will hook into. That is what really holds them in place. Just like so. Well, gonna use maybe a little force, a little friction. You know, unfortunately, when dealing with ball-jointed figures, this does happen where if one of the joints is a little off place, you just got to use a little finesse. Here he is in vehicle mode, and what's nice is on the back of the panel that held the wings, there are two tabs that line up perfectly with two slots in the sword. This is not shown in the instructions, but you do have weapon storage, and you do have Bumblebee in its vehicle mode. And the car does roll quite nicely. You do have clearance. As you can see, you have more of that translucent blue plastic, but it's still predominantly red and black, like Bumblebee. After spending some time with the Legion figures, I was very excited to get these Warrior class figures. And I have to say, I have mixed feelings. While I still think Grimlock is the best of the Warrior class figures, Steeljaw is absolutely horrible. I'm just very disappointed. I like what they were trying to do, but the execution was just poor. Bumblebee is a fun figure, but there's going to be a million different Bumblebees. As of this recording, you have the Legion class, the 3-step changer, the Warrior class, and a 1-step changer. That's 4 different Bumblebees all in the wave 1. So find something you like, and let's not forget, there's probably going to be repaints of these guys coming at some point down the line. And I'd be so bold as to recommend waiting for those. Who knows? But if you're going to buy one, get Grimlock. If you're going to buy 2, Bumblebee's your man. This is your old pal Chuck from Bumblebee and Steeljaw. I'll see you next time.